Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday morning. It is April 29th, coming to you live. I am Dallisa Hawking. I'm a fifth generation psychic medium and the CEO of a fantastic company called Spirit and Spark. I come to you on Thursdays with my show Planets and Predictions, where I bring on special guests and we talk about all the energy that is on the forefront for you. What is headed your direction? I feel like when we know the astrology, and in this case today, even the numerology behind the upcoming month, we can be better prepared because we all know what the last, I would say 12 to 18 months. I started feeling the shift before the pandemic hit. And now we are headed into a brand new month of May, lots going on. For those of you that are tuning in live, welcome to the broadcast. And those of you that are watching the replay, welcome to as well. What I'd like to do as we start getting the ball rolling with today's episode, drop me a comment. Normally I ask you, where are you tuning in from? But today we're going to switch it up a little bit because I've been looking a lot into astrology and the different transits that are happening. Drop your astrological sign in the comments. What sign are you? So I'm a Sagittarius. I am a Gemini rising with a Pisces moon, which is a whole lot of stuff. But let me know, what is your sun sign? And I'll be taking a look at that. I always find it interesting because normally when I ask this question to a group, I get, one sign that's kind of overwhelming. We have Aries and we have a Libra so far. Perfect. So keep those comments coming in. So we have a few things that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be welcoming Sara on. Sara is going to be sharing with us her tarot or tarot. I always change how I say it. I'll ask Sara how she says it. But she's going to be taking a look at the cards and letting us know what the energy for the month of May is. I'm also going to ask her about the new moon that we have coming up. We're headed into eclipse season. What does that mean? So we're going to be looking at the cards and astrology with Sara. Then I'm going to be bringing on Dale, and he is going to be looking at the numerology associated with the month of May. So we've got a lot of information for you today. I'm excited to be sharing it with you. A quick reminder, I often do videos. Mondays, I do my prediction videos. We actually have free oracle card readings with Ashley tomorrow on the YouTube channel Spirit and Spark TV. I will even be back next week as well with a What's in the Bag psychic development game. So if you love all things spirituality, predictions, make sure that you sign up for the manifestation guide and that you get the notification. So it'd be helpful if I remove the banner so you could actually see that. So you can sign up and get my free manifestation tip sheet at spiritandspark.com. And that way you know what's coming up, when I'm going live, and you can be the first to know what predictions are occurring, what are happening. I'm going to put this back up on the screen right now. All of us are on Instagram, myself and my two guests today, Sara and Dale. And so make sure you follow all of us on Instagram and Facebook as well. So as I mentioned, Ashley will be on live tomorrow with free oracle card readings. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific time. You do have to tune in live in order to get that reading. Make sure you have clicked the subscribe button on this channel to get notified when I do go live. My podcast Highway to Healing had 2 new episodes out this week with Pauline and Carla. You can check out Highway to Healing with Dallisa Hawking on all major podcast platforms. And let's see, did I have anything else I needed to say? I don't think so. Thank you to all of our Spark Plug members, all of our YouTube channel patrons. I'm getting ready to bring Sara on in just a moment. I wanted to check the comments again. Oh, we have Pisces. Yep, Pisces. Anita, I'm not sure. I think that's a Pisces symbol. Leona knows like all the symbolism. So, but welcome everybody, and let's go ahead without further ado and bring on Sara. So, Sara, welcome to the show today.
Hi.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. So, as I was teasing a minute ago, you are going to be taking a look at your cards. Do you say it tarot or tarot?
I say tarot, but other people say tarot. But that's how I was brought up, was tarot.
So, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I flip.
I mean, you can switch whatever is comfortable with you. So.
Yes. Well, I'm delighted to have you on today's show. As I was teasing, you're going to pull some cards and talk about some of the astrological energy that's in the air for May. So what do you think? Do you want to shuffle and see what comes up?
Sure. So I'll pull out a couple cards. I was going to do probably just 2 cards, one for the conscience and one for the subconscious of this month.
Okay.
So I thought that would be fun. Sometimes I can take 30 minutes just to talk about one card. So there's usually a lot of information.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and shuffle. And May is going to be a really wonderful month at the beginning, but then it gets a little bit of a roller coaster towards the end. So, astrologically speaking. So
I agree. Yeah, you and I were talking backstage before the show started, and I was saying, the first half of May feels kind of relaxed. And then, probably excitement in the air, people getting back together, doing things in person. But that last part of May, it just feels like it completely goes upside down.
Yeah, it'll be really intense. We've got nice Gemini energy coming in, especially in the first week of May. So we have some planets that are changing over. And so it'll be more like playful, and there's going to be lots of communication going on where people are wanting to tune in with people they love. It's going to be more profound than just superficial, I feel like. And especially coming off from like Taurus season, and we'll be in Taurus season. Obviously, we're in it right now. So, but it won't be as slow, and I love Taurus season because it is slower, but this will get things going a little bit more. Brainstorming is going to happen. And we're in a time where there's new structures being built. So maybe this will be a great time for people to, write down lists and brainstorm, or even collaborate with people that they trust. So, oh, cool. So the first card I picked was the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm using the Tarot of Divine deck. I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see it properly?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I'm using the Tarot of Divine. It's one of my favorite decks to use because it really plays off the folklore. And so with the Wheel of Fortune, obviously, it's you being able to bring in good fortune if you want to. I like to read the cards both ways, both reversed and also right side up, just to give all of the information. So even with the Wheel of Fortune being there, it's like, you get to decide what you want to do in these especially the first couple of weeks. And then what kind of fortune you want to bring in. This also means like what kind of people you want around you, a lot of positivity, thinking about, what you can live without in the past as well, like how you can cut certain things so that way you can keep going forth in the future. So that's the first card, and that's on the conscience, which is great because that's in the forefront. So everyone's just trying to figure out what direction they're going in. Oh, and then this is great because this is the Three of Wands. And I love Wands cards because they're all fiery, it's the fire element. And with the Three of Wands, it's like working your way up. It's like sparking that, you're working your way out of challenges. You might even have a good stability with support system, but you're able to do it by yourself and having the bravery to do it. So this is kind of what we're getting into because I feel like it's been so heavy in April, and especially, 2020 coming into 2021, we're witnessing some really big things. So this gives us a little hope that we're going to be able to work our way up from that. So yeah, that's what the conscious and the subconscious are saying. And what I love about the Wheel of Fortune, it is 10, which is a really great number because it's like completion and harmony. You could really put that in there if you wanted to. So
Oh, I
And then
love that.
also, yeah. So we do have that new moon coming up too in Taurus, and that's going to be an easier moon than the one that we have at the end of the month. So,
Okay, well, now you tease that. So,
yeah.
okay, so you said May 11th is the Taurus new moon, correct?
Yeah, which is going to be really nice to just it's a moon where you can slow down a little bit, be with your family. It's not so good for financial matters, but it's going to be more easygoing and flexible. I believe, yeah, on the 13th, I'm looking at my notes because I can't
Yeah.
remember all of these things. But on the 13th, Jupiter enters Pisces, and it's going to be great for Jupiter because it's not going to be restricted by all these Saturn signs like Aquarius and the old traditional, and then previously in Capricorn. So it's going to feel a little bit more free. So we're going to have that as well. So I know it's, coming into the middle of May, but it still is going to be this nice security and making me feel a little bit better about life before we get into the heavy stuff at the end of the month. So.
Right. So what's happening at the end of the month?
So at the end of the month is the start of eclipse season, and it's what we go through, and it's going to be in Sagittarius. Plus, we have some retrogrades going on. So we have Saturn retrograding, I believe. Yeah, so that's going to be on the 23rd. And then smack dab in the middle is this eclipse in Sagittarius. And, I'm a magical person, and I don't do anything magical on eclipses because the energy is a little erratic. It's just really amplified. So I always tell people if they are going to do anything, it's good to do like grounding work and all that. And then do Sagittarius things like manifesting travel or, if you're getting into philosophy or whatever, but doing something like that. But really just, not doing things that are going to really promote yourself because the energies are just so erratic. And then at the end of the week on Saturday, on the 29th, so close to the end, is Mercury retrograde. So we just got a lot of stuff going on, but at least at the beginning of the month, it's going to be a little easier for all of us. And we can really just kind of be in that flexible, more easygoing springs happening. So get in your garden type of energy.
I love the suggestion about grounding because I like to tell the listeners, the viewers, things that they can do to help with the energy, right? So we know that the first half of the month is going to be maybe a little bit more enjoyable, gentle. You're just going to feel like you're flowing through life. The second half of the month, it starts to get energetically turbulent. So is there anything that you could kind of tell people that are watching that are hearing that and going, oh, great, I've got about 2 weeks and things are going to turn sideways? Is there anything you suggest kind of working your way up to that late May and eclipse season and retrogrades? Is there anything you usually tell people to kind of help them prepare for that?
Yeah, 100%. So what I do personally is I have a morning routine. Some people like night routines. I'm more of a morning person, like early. And I'll do breath work. I do binaural beats. I'm not a meditator where I can just sit in silence. I wish I could be, but I'm not. So with binaural beats, just different frequencies help me tune into my body. It's just about bringing you back into the present. And that's what grounding is about too, is releasing that stagnant energy inside you into either the earth, the universe, whatever you're thinking, So for me, binaural beats are my favorite. And there's this man, Jonathan Goldman. You can find him on Spotify. But he has really, really awesome beats that are from depression to anxiety to just feeling calm. I also really just love doing yoga. I do a lot of yoga, but not everyone likes yoga. So it's like, anything with the breath though, I feel like if you're in a good moment of flexibility and carefree, this is a great time to start that discipline, because then you are going to have an easier time at the end of the month honing it in. And like, you might even get excited, like, oh, this is my opportunity to try this new discipline out and see if it's actually effective for me. So that's what I would say. But anything that you can have a visionary on, like grounding for me, I have to have that vision of releasing into the ground, like releasing all that yuckiness or stagnant energy or even past trauma. I feel like a lot of people in the last couple of months have been really coming to terms with past trauma, even in the last year, because of the isolation. So this would be a great time because it's a little bit lighter to do things like this because it's self-care. And I would just say, just start doing a lot of self-care at the beginning, and, you know, and then it'll be easier when it's these darker moments.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that. Yeah, just kind of like pulling it through when things get a little bit turbulent. So start it now so that you're ready to go in a couple of weeks.
I mean, don't be anxious about it, but look forward to it. And I always say, carve out some time. I know there's people who have families they need to take care of and everything. And just like 5 minutes, if you could take some time, you know, and that makes a huge difference. I think mental health care is a huge issue right now. And if we can learn how to do it in the good moments, we can bring it into the, you know, the more intense moments.
For sure. What do you, in a, you know, in a few words or your summary of like, what do you equate eclipse season to? Like, what's the energy that eclipses usually bring with them? Is it like bringing things to the surface or enlightenment, or what do you typically equate it with?
I feel like it's almost like, it depends on what sign it's in, first off. But like, see, with Sagittarius, because it's a fire sign and it's a very intelligent sign, it's a sign of the mind as well, you know, it's very exploring. So it might actually bring to light, you know, things that we're restricting ourselves on, you know, like restrictions of us not being able to do the school that we want in person, or traveling, or, you know, even like with the pandemic, even restrictions from family and stuff. Not necessarily the family thing, but just from people in general, like how you are around people. So I feel like with eclipses, though, it's because it's just such an intense energy, you feel things on deeper levels. So it's almost like this kind of, it could be like a tower card sometimes, where everything just feels like it's just so unstable. It's a fault line. You're going to fall through, earthquakes. Whenever I think eclipses, I think about either earthquakes or being in the fog. Like you can't get through it sometimes, you know, and it's all just really important to just remind yourself that it will pass. I know it's a term that it has been passed around for a long time, but it's legit. Like these things will pass. It's just, you know, it's almost like waves, you know, coming at you and you don't have any control. But if you fight it like quicksand, you're gonna sink down even further. So it's like taking the opportunity to get to your breath, ground, and, you know, stay in that moment. So
I'm going to put you on yeah, and I know, I appreciate it. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you know how long this eclipse season lasts for?
Oh, you are putting me on the spot. I will have to look at it, but I know that it's going to be just a few months. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, because we have a total solar eclipse in December. Mm-hmm. So it's we're gonna have some moons that are nice, you know, in between, but it's just the start of the first one until the end of this year, you know. Yeah. So we'll have. Oh, I need to look it up. I didn't write that down.
Oh no, that's fine.
I felt like there was a few.
Yeah, I thought that there was going to be a few, and then I know that Christmas Eve, there's a huge energy that hits on Christmas Eve. So it's just going to be one of those years.
The Saturn square Uranus, and Uranus is retrograde, and that's going to be really intense in December. But let's not think about that yet. Let's work our way up to that. But we've been getting hit by these similar aspects in the last year. So they've been playing off each other, and it's a lot of us learning how to navigate this new life, rebuilding new systems. And I think the first couple of weeks of May, I'm just really positive of that, because it'll give some insight, and maybe there's going to be some epiphanies like, oh, this was really hard earlier, but now here's an easy solution for that. And so you'll start seeing things that are a little bit falling in the line a little bit more. So for the first couple of weeks.
I love that. I'm going to pull up a couple of comments. So Leona's saying retrograde is a bit tough with all the air signs and change. Mercury in charge. 529. Buckle up, buttercups.
Yeah, and 100%, I agree. Wicked Love Media, yes, 100%. It's like buckle up. I think I was telling you that, Dallisa, earlier, where it's like put on your seatbelt. There's going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, you know. So
for sure. And then
yeah.
Hope was asking, is there a place that you like to go to figure out what your rising sign, your moon sign is?
Yeah, you can go to I believe it's astrochart.com. I have a beautiful app called Time Passages. And you can get, I believe there's a free version. There's also a professional version, but that's an amazing app, and it will give you all of the information you need in your natal chart. Plus, it also gives you a choice if you want to do like whole sign or Placidus chart or whatever. So it's a really great one. You can upgrade if you want to just get the basic. I think it's free, but then you can upgrade within the app. I love that. And then other forecasts that I would say to tune into is Astrology podcast is an amazing one. They do a 2-hour monthly forecast at the beginning of the month that's public to everyone on YouTube. And they give a lot of great insights. So I tuned into it yesterday, and a lot of the information that I share is either through them or even Rick Levine. He's amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of information. But the charts, you could do AstroChart, I believe, is a free one. And then Time Passage is an app that I absolutely love. So
that's perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm taking so many notes.
I love that. I feel like I'm in a reading right now with a client. I'm like, here you go. Yeah. No, what's great is we do have these 2 cards, and we are working our way up. And you know, we can manipulate our own. Fortunately, in at least in the country we live in, depending on what demographic and everything, we can kind of get around it. You know, we can manipulate things in our favor. So this card is just trying to tell us, like, you can get back into what you want during these 2 weeks, at least.
Climb that ladder. Climb the ladder. You're headed in the right direction. Yeah.
It's going to feel tough, though. So
yeah. We're trying to focus on the silver lining, but you heard it here first. Buckle up, buttercup.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting month for sure. So, but by tuning in, everybody who's watching today, you won't feel that whiplash so much because you'll know that energy is there. So it helps to prepare you.
Yeah. And then you can figure out your reactions and all of that. I feel like with the Wheel of Fortune, it is like taking a hold of your reactions. Like you are the boss of yourself type of thing.
Absolutely. And being accountable to ourselves. Absolutely. Yeah. So Sara, you were delightful. Before we let you go, can you just let people know like where to find you, what you have going on in your world?
Yeah, so I am the Conjuror's Cauldron, which is a company that I started a couple of years ago, but I'm really getting it going now. And it's a mystic service and consultation. I do sigil pieces, which are magical art pieces that I create for people using their natal charts and all of that. And then I do tarot as well. So you can find me on my website or on my Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So
I love it. Sara, thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning.
Thank you. All right. I'm looking forward to Dale. So
I know I'm getting ready to bring him on. Let's see what he says about the numerology.
Right. Well, thank you. And thank you to everyone. This is my first time on a podcast, so I really appreciate it. And thanks, Dallisa.
Yeah, you did a great job. We'll see you soon, Sara.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. I love when I can sit and take notes and I'm always learning and growing and expanding. Sara, you are fantastic. Thanks for bringing us your time and your talent today. You're getting thank yous in the comments from our viewers. Yeah, beautiful. They're all loving what you had to say. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Dale on. Dale.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, man.
You know, I had to chuckle, Dallisa, because The vibe of May coincides so much with the card, the Wheel of Fortune, because I didn't know the Wheel of Fortune was a 10 energy. And she said the 10, and we are approaching a 10 vibe. It always amazes me and love it when things sync, numerology, astrology, because generally there's one truth and it's how we look at things. It's in some ways. So it is a pleasure to be here. And we are coming into what I call a lofty new month. And I say that because we are entering what I call a one vibration. And in numerology, one basically, even in our own vernacular, one represents the beginning of all things, nine represents the ending of all things. So one is about action, initiation, planting the seed. And this month of May is just that, except there's something grand about this vibe. And a lot of what Sara said, it just makes it, I love it how it comes together. There's a 0 next to this one vibration. This makes this one vibe a 10. And as I say, one represents the beginning of all things, but even the seed that we plant has to come from somewhere. The earth is sort of our orb, it's the one vibe, but it's in the womb of the universe. So the 0 represents the God energy. And when there's a 0 next to a number, it makes that vibe so much more profound. And that's why I say the secret of this coming month, because this month is so much about initiation, starting new things. The planet itself, there's I've been speaking to a lot of my friends and clients. I could tell you right now, if things have been on the fence for you, this last month, in terms of waiting things, if you've been planting your seeds and working hard, the month of May, expect changes and manifestation without a doubt. And because it is not just a one, you know what it's like? It's sort of like taking an elevator to a floor. So you're rising up, but then you have to get on another elevator to get to a higher level. And that's the vibe as I look at it. And I look at the vibes as I look at it as the weather. It's like we're walking through the weather. And the weather influences us all the time. If it's some of my clients who are listening, they say, oh, there he goes again. He's going to mention that 90 degrees. So I always say if it's 90 degrees and you want to put on a wool coat, you'll put on a wool coat. But it's your prerogative, but it's not something you'll do because it's too hot to do something like that. Your influence, you're going to place, of course, dress accordingly. So the way that I look at it, my mindset with the number of vibes is that we're walking through these energies. And the choices that we make are up to us. But this one vibration, as a matter of fact, this month of April is a month of closure and endings, making amends. So we've had a lot of deaths this month also, some that I have seen. But it is a month where finalizing projects is such a big deal because coming May 1st, things just lift in such a way. And the secret, I say, is to be secure in knowing what you know, not what you don't know, because the one is an empowering vibe. We so often, even I find myself, oh, I don't know about this, I don't know about that. But so often we don't look towards what we know. Our strengths and confidence comes from what we know. And the vibe of this 10 energy will serve you well if you do that. Think about climbing a huge mountain and you're landing on a high platform or apex. This is the vibe of this 10 energy, which means businesses will start going. If people are involved in the entertainment industry, they're going to find a lot of the Netflixes and the Amazons and business. It's going to really start moving now. This is a time of initiation, moving forward, being specific and being confident as much as you can. And I say, look towards what you know first, because there's always, you can even look towards what you don't know, and you know that you don't know. You can find some security there. But the point is to be specific, look ahead. I often say, don't look backwards, because we're certainly not going that way in the month of May. And it's very powerful stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting, Dale. So pairing that with what I've been getting intuitively and what Sara was sharing,
Yes.
About how the first half of the month, it may be a little bit more mellow, relaxed. It might be a great time to start doing some self-care rituals because the second half of the month is volatile. So as I'm hearing you speak about all of this energy that's going to be that empowering energy, these fresh starts, these new beginnings, do you think that that energy is going to help more people persevere and push through challenges maybe a little bit more effectively in May?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes to those who want it, and no to those who don't want it. I feel, even what I was listening to both of you, where I'm a numerologist, psychic numerologist, you're so much astrologist and a psychic medium, but everything that I heard is so much of what I've been feeling in any case. It's what we desire. That's why, again, I come back to that. Be secure in what you know. And that's the power of the one. It is a 10 energy. It's a one vibration. One represents the seed. It represents beginnings, but it represents the soul. So yes, it's if you're clear on what one desires, what you desire, and you settle down a little bit, ground yourself, possibly take 5-10 minutes every day to just breathe by yourself, and then focus in on what you desire. This energy will lift you and bring things your way. Another secret about this vibe is that which you place in your conscious mind will materialize for you under this 10 energy. And on the other side of the coin, if you don't want to listen, we all have challenges and weaknesses, and I'm hard-headed. I procrastinate a lot, and you don't want to do that this month coming up, actually. The opposite of moving forward and taking the bull by the horns and being specific is procrastination and sitting back. So that's one of my big challenges. But if you work and look ahead, then you're in the right place. On the other side of the coin, just as this energy for you and I, and probably most of the people that are listening, can be positive, there's another side to any energy, as you know, the way I look at it. And that increase of power and focus also will be expressed to those who see things differently. I actually see a major assassination occurring this month. I see more social demonstrations that are not so positive, more terrorism coming during this month. Now, that's just the dark side, but it is a side. And so for you and I walking through, because every time you turn on the news and you mentioned 2020. Oh my God, it has been tough these last 6 or 7 months, and which I call that year a year of deconstruction. It was a 4 vibration, and was a breakdown of our norms, and positively too, sitting with family, breaking down the barriers that we put up because we're all moving so fast. But even COVID was a breakdown of our bodies. So here we are in this 5-year in 2021, which is taking those ashes, because the 5 is about transformational change, moving forward, action. And that's how come everything is sort of new for us now. And United States vibrates to the 5 vibration. So we are just, again, this month, this year, we're moving forward. There are new initiatives. There's nothing really the same right now. And this month of May coming up, I'm talking socially, politics, everything is sort of still evolving, and we don't know where. But this month of May coming up is just a great month from my perspective to settle down, to slow down, be as specific as you can about what you desire. That's the power of this vibe. And you mentioned, or Sarah mentioned, I think you mentioned eclipses, and towards the end of the second half of, well, it's interesting because the vibe of today, the vibe of the day is an 11 energy. A fabulous 11 energy. We're having this meeting today. Great day for connecting to your higher self, your God self. But the vibe of June is also an 11 energy. And towards the closer we get to June, that electricity of that 11, I always use the analogy of wires being overcharged. That's also the 11 vibe. That's the negative aspect of it. So I sort of agree with you that as we get into, or concur, I should say, that we get into the end of the month, things are going to start to get very frenetic and very highly charged. But again, back to your initial question, I always bring it back to the individual, what we decide to do, and how I am so blessed to have met so many people over my 9 years of being in this position of offering what little I know. And I have known so many astrologers, and many of them come to me Mercury's in retrograde. You got to be careful. And I say, you're right. And I'm careful. But my point is, if you know it's going to rain, I know you're shaking your head. You know, if you know it's going to rain and you still have to go out, you prepare as much as you can. Not that you shouldn't do anything. This is my mindset. But if you have to do something, be aware so you're focused and grounded. Because again, I believe astrology, numerology, we are spiritual beings, housed in flesh, and they're tools for us in many ways. But then we know very little. So
no, you're right on point. It's interesting. You were talking about the volatility and kind of some of those aspects that may feel more abrupt or disruptive. I've been getting a lot of psychic downloads about revolutionary energy, violence, the tower card.
Yeah, we don't the tower card. Yeah, you know, and I actually love tarot. I'm not I don't read tarot, but whenever I look at the cards, they just ignite passions. They're so invigorating and open up my imagination, even my psychic abilities. I just looking at them. But yeah, that's the other side of the 5 energy. You know, the 5 year we're in, because even with looking at the month of May, it's the overlay. Right now we are in April and we're in springtime. So, you know, it's sort of, we're affected by even what's above us in a way. So the planet is in a 5 year change, all that stuff I said, it's mercurial, but the 5 also speaks to chaos and drugs, alcohol, media, television, change. Now, again, from my perspective, it's a vibe. It's an energy. You can't really grab onto it. Interesting, United States of America, USA vibrates to the 5 energy. That is the vibe of this country. And our Constitution is based on liberty, and the 5 is about freedom and liberty. So here we are in a 5 year, and that's affecting everything from my perspective. Whatever the month is, that vibe is very powerful. But if you look above that, you'll also know what's pushing it. So on the darker side, I guess, I always say the other side of the coin, yes, revolution. Even with this last month, the so many, it seems like so many, at least in the United States, so many gun violence, so much gun violence this last month, one after the other, and the attacks on folks, Asian folks, and all of the stuff that's going on. But it's not just here in this country, it's across the planet. The COVID ravaging us in many ways. But this is, at some point, we're going to land somewhere. But the energy of this vibe, from my perspective, is this constant change. And as you and I, the individual, and change is mercurial. It's always rolling. And we do great things as human beings. I often say we do the greatest things. We can soar to the heights of, I guess, the best of us in God, and then go right down to the depths and doing things that are so bad. But in between, for you and I, that vibe, revolution, change, violence, happiness. So all of this is occurring, but I do sense, and I do know that the month of May really is a lofty vibe, and people are going to feel it. And how that connects with astrology, I can't tell you how oftentimes I'll mention the vibe of the day, that this is going to be an incredible day for blah, 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 blah. And an astrologer friend will call me and say, you know, Sagittarius did this, or Scorpio did this, because I'm not an astrologer. And we would just laugh and smile, because it's always, usually it's the same truth, just looking at it differently. And
absolutely. So, yeah, no, for sure. It's fun how it all connects. I'm going to put you on the spot before we let you go today. Just like I put Sarah on the spot, you know. But you're a numerologist, obviously, so you're looking at the frequency of the numbers. So if I'm not mistaken, 2022 is a 6. And I think it's funny, because I'm always kind of looking at, like, what's the next year going to be like? I'm always kind of projecting out. So what do you think kind of the major energy of next year is going to be?
Well, so interesting, because I was thinking about that early this morning. And, you know, just a couple of words, and this is sort of, it's a microcosm of the vibe, but you know, the word voting vibrates to a 6 energy. The word voting. And remember, we had the presidential election, which happened to occur on a 6th day, by the way, actually. and the 6 vibrates, generally speaking, to social issues, to family. And the country is a family, the city is a family. So we're coming into, right now, we're in a year of incredible movement and chaos. Next year, we're going to find so much of, from my perspective, the world, and particularly the United States. We're going to, actually, as a matter of fact, what happens next year? Elections.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big year for change that way, in that perspective. I actually sense real estate is going to do very well if you are selling. Buying, I'm not so sure, but I think social issues, again, will take center stage next year. And many of us are going to find ourselves so much more involved with family, caregiving. So I think it's going to be a great period for film, artistic expression, coming together. But there's always the other side of the coin. I actually also sense we'll have more social issues, demonstrations. I actually think the forefront of next year will be so much about social change. Not necessarily, I mean, really gear on social change. And again, the elections. We know what happens on whatever side, whoever's in office. We know that whoever's in office, what party's in office, who cares? We do know that it's a big period next year for, I think it's the congressional elections. Am I not correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which it's going to change. And that affects everything in the country socially. So that's where my aim is. That's where I find that we're going to find that's going to be the central point. And more healing with COVID, actually. I think we have good news there. And personally or individually, I think it's a time where folks will sort of finally get things sort of together. This has been rough these last 2 years. And we're going to start to settle back into some realm of family and community. So there's a lot going here. But my key words would be family, community, country, taking care of others, and some artistic expression. I know it's kind of general, but that's what I see.
No, that's helpful. Because I'm often asked, well, when is this going to turn around? When are things going to start to feel better? When am I going to feel like I'm not being run over by a train every other day? And every time I look out, I see 2025. And so if we're looking at 2025, wow. If my math is correct, that's a 9. But 9s are all about endings generally. So I'll be curious.
So it's 2026 is where we're going to end. This is, I'm giving something away here. I know a couple of days ago, I turned on the television in between my readings and I turned on The Price is Right. And they had this game, I think the Yodel game. And it was supposed to represent someone skiing up a hill. A yodeler, and if you got the right amount, if you guessed the right amount, you went up. But if you get to the top and lost, you fell over. Mm-hmm. So that's where we're heading. I'm not saying we're falling over. What I'm saying is you're right. The 9 vibration occurs in 2025. I think you said 2020. It is 2025. Yeah. And so we're heading. So the change that you said, when are we going to get off this roller coaster? It's not, we're evolving. It's almost like a cake is in the oven and it's cooking. We're cooking and heading somewhere. That's why I bring it back to this month of May. It's just so important from my perspective to sort of take time and pull the. You're right. It's been crazy. So pull the reins in and be a lot more secure in what you know. Mm. And I mean, you love your wife or your husband. You know that when you're by yourself, you can sing wonderfully. You know that you're confident. On some things that you do. What do you do well? What are you happy about within yourself? That can help ground and give us, particularly in this month coming up ahead, and with all of the changes that Sara and yourself see for the end of the month in May. Again, we are the boat or so going through the storm. So you have to batter yourself down and stop. Well, it's not easy, but just look towards what you have in yourself. Or anything that makes you feel good, energize it, electrify it, do it so you can go through this next year or so. And particularly, again, this month of May is so powerful for just being specific about what you desire. And it is such an action-oriented month, but not about running. It's a lofty vibe. So that's why I say take care of your inner self, and look towards what you are confident about. That's actually better. What are you confident about? So if you know that you have a little bit of confidence here and a whole lot of unconfidence here, don't look here, go here for a second, and then start to move with that. Not an easy thing to do, but it's something that should be done because we are going through some crazy times.
We are, Dale. Oh my gosh, you
Yeah.
have so much information. I'm gonna have to have you and Sarah back on the show again.
Well, that would be great. That would be wonderful. I actually appreciate being here, and I do want to say this for the month of May. Turquoise, great color and a great stone. There are a couple of stones. Azurite, I love this month. It's a wonderful intuitive stone. It's so powerful. Lodestone, which actually attracts things. It's literally magnetic. I also love beige and tan, great colors. Black and white are great colors for the month of May. And you doesn't mean you have, yeah, there you go. And we're already there almost. So, and white, gold, and silver, absolutely. But my two stones, one other, aquamarine. Very powerful, and they'll bring centering. And what we wear sometimes, it does affect others around us. It always does. And the stones, though, are for us. So
I love it. Yeah, and I notice everybody can go and subscribe to Dale's email newsletter and also follow him on Instagram because you share that information. I saw a post that you just did about the crystals and like the vibe, the energy of the day and all that. So
just to mention, I have the free vibeoftheday.com. That's the daily audio every single day, a 3 to 5 minute audio message. And then the website is info@numerologyByDale.com. And don't get scared because it's under construction, but there is a link there that says go and enter through the current site and you can go there. But it should be up in the month of May. Actually,
of course.
Month of May, of course.
Of course. Yeah, so Anita's asking your info. So Instagram, I've got scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Numerology by Dale is where you can find Dale on Instagram, and Sarah's is the Conjuror's Cauldron. Yeah. Are you on Facebook as well, Dale?
Listen, I have a Facebook account. I haven't been on it in years.
Okay.
But I'm getting there with the building of this website, which will be launched in May. I'm getting my social media stuff together. Instagram. I mentioned that I procrastinate for 5 years. I've been procrastinating. I have clients still. You have to get on Instagram. So I got on Instagram finally about 5 months ago, and that's how we met. So
yeah, we did.
With the one energy. When one moves, you create. When you get off the fence, I'll say, you create, things come. So I finally moved on it. So I am going to go back to Facebook and Twitter, and that's all in the works in the coming months.
Perfect. Nico Frico said, woohoo, great to watch this, Dale. Thanks for sharing. And then you have Lloyd Jr. saying, hey, Dale. So you have some fans in the audience.
Hey, Lloyd, wonderful. He follows me, and I look at his posts every day. Wow, wonderful.
Oh, how sweet. Yeah, it's fun to shout out some folks. Yeah, so we've got Terrence saying that you're coming through with powerful messages. So, yeah, beautiful. You and Sarah got lots of, so Anita, we shared that, Numerology by Dale. That's how you find Dale.
Info at Numerology is the website.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, Dale, thanks for being on the show today.
It has absolutely been my pleasure. And I always say what little I know, I love to share. And at the same time, the sharing you receive, because I actually learned a lot by listening to both of you today. I really have. So it's my pleasure. Thank everybody. Be well, be safe, be focused, be grounded, and say yes. Okay?
Say yes. Right. Beautiful. See you again soon, Dale.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too. Oh my gosh, Dale and Sarah, what a great show today. I'm sure if you're like me, you learned a few new things today and took some notes. So it's beautiful. As a reminder, if you want that free manifestation guide and you want to be notified when the next shows are coming up, make sure you sign up at spiritandspark.com. And the Instagram is @spiritandspark, and we are on Facebook as well. So thanks again to my guests today. Enjoy your week. Start those self-care routines so that you are ready for what's to come in May. Fasten your seatbelt, buttercups. All right, enjoy your day. We'll see you soon.